Full people, hope that everybody is well wherever they are. It's a beautiful wild card Wednesday, and today we are talking everything poetry, the art of poetry, the art of words, and everything that is words. Sani Bonani, Abusheng, Dumelang. How's everyone doing? Hope that everybody is relaxing. I'm sure abanye babuya emsebenzini, abanye babuya ku night shift, abanye baya emsebenzini, abanye ba late for ukuya emsebenzini. But don't worry, I have got you covered. It's a girl Zoe Zungu, aka Baza with the voice. And it's the last hour of the show, unfortunately, but also fortunately, the most anticipated person that we have been waiting for today. Yes, my beautiful platinums, you're still tuned into the Platinum Breakfast Show with your girl, and I am riding solo today. Umatwala and JT they just decided to ditch me. You know, I'm just gonna say that they decided to ditch me back in Namhlanje and Giko Nawe. But don't worry, it's gonna be a jam-packed show. So listen, on today's show, there's something special. You know, we're gonna dive into the world of poetry. You know, the rhythm, the emotion, the revolution that lives in the words. And we've got the voice, you know, she's the voice you've heard behind powerful freestyles online, a poet who's turned hashtags into healing and diary entries into verses that travels across the borders. From the heart of Tembisa to the stages in Kenya and Cape Town, she's been featured by Storgy T, Gigi Lamaine, Pete Dotto, I hope I'm pronouncing it okay, and even close out for Nsigi Mazwai's Umoya Chat show. So her pen is personal, her performance is magnetic, and her presence unshakable. So, my beautiful Platinum Mornings, can we give a good, beautiful welcome morning to Nomonde? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm gorgeous, thank you. What an incredible intro. I think I'm going to need you to record it for me so that I use it every time I'm about to perform.
Most gladly. I think they're recording it. You can even check it also on our YouTube. Yo, Namonde. First of all, when I watch your TikTok videos, all I think is seductiveness. Like that's the first because I think one of the first TikTok videos I encountered was you saying, I'm like, whoa, okay, girl, because that was like my first TikTok video of you. But we're gonna dive into that first. Why poetry? With all the careers, you know, why poetry? Why? Because it's not even a faculty of job where a lot of people are in it, and no one is saying I'm making money out of poetry. You know, we have a specific people, you know, no one is publicly and being transparent about, and is there even money? But let's start, why poetry?
Okay. I think the one thing that we should actually do is ask poetry why Nomonde Sky.
Okay.
Because it's not something I chose, it's something that literally chose me. And more than anything, is something that came naturally. And I felt like, you know what, let me use what God has given me. Sometimes you get through phases in life where you're like, okay, fine, I'm trying to do this, it's not working out. So you ask yourself, poetry, let me ride with that. And that's why I think poetry and I gel well together. It chose me, I don't want to lie.
Okay, take me back to your first poem, the first thing you wrote, and what was it about, and what was going through your emotions?
The first poem, my goodness. It was just a matter of me trying to figure out whether I like this or I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what I was doing much, but I just knew that I just wanted to rhyme. I wanted to make sense, and that was it. It wasn't more about what my poetry now is about in terms of expressing myself or trying to relay a story. It was just about the rhyme scheme. And yeah, ever since then it grew, and here we are.
And Ukulele, I'm also from the Eastern, by the way. You know, as the Eastern people are the G's, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're running the media. It's
We
just that we're
definitely
underrated and not as public as other people from Soweto, because you
Right.
know how it's always Soweto, you
Yeah.
know. But growing up from Tembi, so you have your likes of Ulira coming from the Pelmudiadi, DJ Spoo, you know. How did your environment shape you? And how did it also shape your art?
Tembisa is a very colorful place. I mean, you have so much that can inspire you. You can literally be sitting in the house with absolutely no inspiration. You step outside and now you're talking to someone else, you eavesdrop and there's a poem. It's a very colorful place to live in. There's something going on some way, one way or the other. And it literally motivated me and it taught me ubuntu. It taught me that anything you need, you can talk to anybody you want to talk to. So Tembisa really did the most for me, and I will love it possibly until the day I pass away.
Okay. So what kind of child were you? Like, bowlalela, bownyezwa? Were you like a nerd? Or were you friends with guys more or with girls more? How was Nomande as a teen?
Okay, here's the crazy part. So, growing up, my grandmother and my mother did not want me playing outside with other kids. I don't know why.
I can relate.
I really do not know why, but they were like, "Hey, when are you just gonna stay in the house?" So, what I usually did is that I would play with my dolls, and that's where the creativity came in. That's where the storytelling came in, because now I have imaginary friends more than I do actual friends. So, that was me in my childhood. Teenagerhood, I only had, I think, 2 female friends.
Yeah.
And then I gravitated more towards chilling namajita for some weird reason. I think it was kind of the art also, bringing in the people that would later inspire the lingo that you will certainly hear in my poetry most times. So that was it. But I was more of an introvert, and I'm actually moving away from that now as I'm getting older. I'm seeing that how can that's why my parents didn't want me outside. So that's where I am. Guys. Yeah.
And then how did your background in public speaking and rapping influence your poetry?
It influenced it perfectly, because the rapping part kind of transitioned to poetry. Understand that with my rapping style, I was more of a battle cat. I was there battling boys. It was such a dangerous time in my life. And then it just transitioned into something more peaceful, more sultry and seductive, as you would say.
Yeah.
So it literally did the most. And with the public speaking, it helped me with audiences, crowds, the shyness, the nerves, and everything else. So everything was literally leading to this very moment.
Okay, and then what's the difference between you freestyle performances and written pieces?
The difference between my written pieces and my freestyle performances is that with my performances, I literally gravitate towards reading the crowd, understanding the feel of the room, and it's more prophetic to someone that's sitting down, because they'll be sitting there and be like, why does it feel like this girl's talking about me? And now with the written stuff, I have more time to now come back and edit. I have more time to think of a better word. I have more time to try hold your hand and walk you through the journey of my mind, because it's quite a maze. It's a crazy place in there. So with the written pieces, that's what it is. But with the performances, it's more of a conversation between you and I. As much as you're not saying anything, but I am pretty much able to kind of detect what you're feeling with what I'm saying. Yeah.
So then, you know, with poetry, it's different stories. So does it mean that you growing up, were you like a people's person? Did you listen to a lot of people's stories, or was it you reading online or on a book or on TV? What influenced all these stories? Because I don't think that everything that you're talking about is related to you. You would be very surprised. But you know, I don't think everything. I think you probably also like gravitate from someone's stories. So how is your poems collected in different stories from different people? How? Take me through that journey.
What I would say is that for me, and this is something I always say, poetry is quite spiritual, right? So for me, how I see it is that these stories are possibly personally mine from past lives.
Okay.
And say you and I have a conversation, then you'll trigger a memory from a past life.
Okay.
Which is why I'm able to relay your story so perfectly, because you reminded me that I have lived it before. But now, if we're speaking in the literal sense of being alive and being on earth, it just comes from me eavesdropping a lot, because I'm much of an introvert and I just chill, listen to people. Then I just take from here and there and I get inspired, I get touched. And that's how I relay their stories.
Okay, so I know that I didn't tell you this, but I'm gonna ask you to just say something, please, even if it's just like I'll give you a word.
Okay.
Baza.
Baza.
Yeah, that's the word.
Okay.
That's the word. So just towards the end of the interview, please just think of
You trust me, don't you?
I trust your words. I trust your words. You are still tuned into the Platinum Breakfast Show with your girl Zoe Zungo, aka Baza with the voice. And yes, I am chilling with the ever so sultry yet provocative, and muntu senza ukuthi sicabange into eziningi about ourselves, in terms of poetry. Unomande Sky. Nomande, what is the state of poetry now in our country and the world? What is the state of poetry and poets currently right now? Someone is listening, some government person is listening, some corporate person is listening, anyone that has a love for poetry. Where's the state now?
The state is quite shaky. If there's anybody that's listening, has got gang money, doesn't know what to do with it, please fund a person. And we're still suffering from people not wanting to pay the artist. You still get people that are like, but you do this for free on social media, so why should I pay you to perform? People don't really understand that this is what I chose to do. This is what is now going to put bread on the table. So that's where the state of poetry is. You still have to advocate for yourself. You still have to stand up and speak and say, listen, I need to get paid. I need to eat at the end of the day. It's not necessarily taken as a performing art, when you know very well that if you, as a career, yes, you know very well that if you book an artist, but with poetry, it's like, okay, let's negotiate, let's talk about this, let's talk about that. So that's the state of poetry. But other than that, it's definitely much better than it was a couple of years ago, because as poets, we are able to fit into anything now, right? We know that we can go into copywriting, we know that we can go into voiceover, ghostwriting. That's where the money is. But there's more money in performances than there is in the other stuff that we are doing. Yet at the same time, we still have to now fight for our rights in terms of getting the finances. So it's not as good as it is supposed to be, but there definitely is money in poetry.
And then, are you making money?
Girl, I ain't making no money.
Oh
Look
my
at
God. Wow, Monday.
No, I'm joking. I'm speaking it onto the universe. I'm making billions and billions of rands. So
And speaking into the universe, we were talking about the power of words. How is important to because I was making examples of, there are certain things that we randomly say it's a joke, but the thing is, the world, God, or the universe, because I don't know, it depends on how a person, it doesn't take it as a joke.
No.
Like, there's certain statements that a friend will be like, "Vele mina ngikhonjalo."
Yeah.
It's not that awukhonjalo, it's because you are saying you're not
Right.
like that. So how are words important to you, and how are words important to people? That advice you can give about the power of words.
for me, words are very, very powerful. Ever since I actually did come across that quote, whereby they did say that the universe is not aware that you're joking, right? Whatever you say, as you say, so shall it be. The words are so powerful to me, and I've seen it with one of my first poems, which was "There's Something Attractive About These Married Men." Right after that poem, I got attracted to more married men, or rather, married men were mostly attracted to me right after that poem. To a point where I was like, I feel like I need to take this down, because the universe is somehow thinking that I am attracted to married men, and that's why now I am really leaning towards being more intentional with what I say. It's very rare that you'll find me saying anything that I do not believe in, or anything that I do not want to cross over to the universe. Find myself with literally nothing in my purse, but I'm like, listen, it's only clearing and making way for the most money that I will have. So words are extremely powerful for me, and I've seen it in my life, and I'm watching it unfold.
And how is also, because I can say stuff, I can say I'm amazing, I'm great, and then my environment, I have people that are constantly complaining, constantly like, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I can't do this. Personally, those people drain me, and I move away from such people. Like I'm intentional with being around them. Like it'll be I see them once or after I don't know how many times. So how is it important to also have people that are around us speak the same language that you are speaking, and also how is important to have the people around us be maybe in the same spiritual frequency or slightly higher, because also someone that's lower within your frequency can
take it out.
You do understand? So how important is that?
For me, I feel as though we are responsible for ourselves. And for as long as you're able to tell yourself that, what you attract is based on what you really feel internally. So if you are always attracting people that will be complaining or will be on a different frequency, you have to now ask yourself, what am I doing to attract these beings into my life? And we have to not give up on these people. You can only do so much, but at the same time, you don't internalize whatever it is they're saying. So they were brought into your space so that you can teach them how to be like you, so that now the force of gratitude, the force of being happy and speaking positivity can expand within your circle. So you can only do so much, but you try not to absorb. You try to advise, but you come back home, you practice your chants, your mantras, and whatever you may, and you just remind yourself that whatever it is that they're going through, I hope that they're able to look past that mentality. But you keep pouring into yourself as much as you can pour into other people, but more than anything, you are really responsible for yourself.
You were speaking, you just said that, speaking of like chantras and affirmations, what is your affirmation in the morning when you wake up? What is that one? What are those 3 lines that you cannot live like? You have to say that. Or because personally, I'm a very intentional person also with like how I speak. So I'll say, I love you, God, I'm grateful, like those are like but I'm like, who at least? Because I feel like, that's for me, that's the first thing, just to be appreciative of the creator that created you here, and telling them that you love them, because as much as humans, those 3 words, we just love hearing those words. So imagine you telling your creator that every single day, like I learn. So what does Nomonde say? Those 3 lines,
literally,
the
affirmations. The people that have me on WhatsApp and the people that have me on Twitter, sometimes on Instagram, they definitely know that they know that Nomonde has woken up if she has tweeted or has typed, "May the day be gorgeous." Literally just wake up, open my eyes, and I'm like, may the day be gorgeous. And I know very well that I'm riding on a gorgeous frequency. No matter what happens, even if I may hurt my toe or whatever, I'm like, it's okay, the day is still going to be gorgeous, because I said the day would be gorgeous. And that's what I believe in.
Speaking of gorgeous, when I was greeting you, you were saying you're gorgeous. What is gorgeous to you in a deeper sense? Because I don't think it's just beauty. I think there's something deeper than what's so special about the word gorgeous to you.
You are literally digging out the poet in me, and trust me, it's not that deep. Gorgeous is gorgeous, but if I were, to me, gorgeous is wholesome. Gorgeous is amazing. Gorgeous is fulfilling. Gorgeous is nutritional. Gorgeous is everything great you've ever wanted in your life. Gorgeous is godliness. Gorgeous is what I would assume God was feeling like when God was like, let there be light. That for me is gorgeous. Everything amazing. All the glitter, all the shiny, amazing things.
Everything gorgeous. So if you were listening to the show, I was playing a clip of Maya Angelou, Stella Rice, someone who's literally paved my way of understanding life in a different sense, and from someone from centuries, and because I'm very big on history, because if I don't know where I come from, there is no way I'll have a clue on how to get there, because I have to understand. So Maya Angelou, how has she shaped, or what's your view on Maya Angelou? Like when you think of that woman, and especially that poem I was playing, Stella Rice, what comes into your mind? Take me through that. What moment comes into Nomonde?
For me, Maya Angelou, I think more than anything, in the beginning, I had known more of her poetry, more than I did about her personal life, her struggles, or whatever it is that she went through. So going through her poetry, then I got introduced to the other side of her, outside of the stages, the books, and whatever. And the one thing that stuck with me was that this person was human, and she wasn't afraid to
real.
live. She wasn't afraid to say, yes, I have experienced this, but I'm going to turn it into beautiful rhymes. And that for me is extremely inspirational. So that is who Maya Angelou was for me, a being that lived the art and lived life. And her art literally inspired life, and life inspired art. I think that is the greatest achievement for any artist.
And which South African poets do you look up to?
Oh my God, there's so many. Well, of course, there's no one in the sky.
Okay.
You have to look up to yourself.
Yes.
I look up at the sky, I'm like, oh, there I am. But definitely, Modisa Sakhote is there.
Okay.
New Sam is there.
Oh, New Sam, she's gonna come also.
Yeah. Makafula Vilagazi is also there. Masai Sipuru is also there. And obviously, the great giants, Lebo Mashile.
I'm listening. I'm listening, but I'm like, you are not getting to.
There is no way I would.
Like.
Definitely Lebo Mashile and Nzigi
Yeah.
Mazwai.
Oh, yeah. And what's your view on Zigi's style of poetry and Lebu's style of poetry?
These are two beings that actually shaped the person that I am today. I feel
Wow.
like their poems inspired me to kind of be in between what they are, because here you have this kind of style and you have this kind of style, and you have a person that's consuming all this, and this person's style now kind of merges both. So for me, it's very important that we have these two distinctions, and they work quite well for me. Yeah.
And what's your view on them and the public?
Them and the public.
Yeah, because we know Nsigi has a rap,
Yeah.
and also Miss Lebu also has her own.
Yeah.
But what's your view with because I feel like, you know, in every industry there's the Beyonce of that person.
Yeah.
You know, and Ulebu has been the Beyonce of poetry for
Yeah.
the longest time, and unfortunately, Unsigi has been not so, you know, like people are more, because I feel like she's misunderstood.
Yeah.
You know, people like check only her negativity, but if you like really follow her and watch her,
Yeah.
some of the stuff that she says actually makes sense. Sometimes I just think it's about a way on how you say
Get it.
something, you
Yeah.
know, instead of just being just bluntly, you know. What's your perception on both of them
On both of
individually,
them individually,
as artists in poetry?
as artists in poetry, here's my understanding and how
Yeah.
I view them, right?
Okay.
We have one being who, yes, has done the most publicly, and then we have one being who has done the most also publicly, but is literally fighting more than ever, and a being that is not afraid to speak their mind, and a being that's not afraid to say, listen, if I was wrong, I will definitely come back and apologize, but one thing I will do is not bite my tongue, and that for me is Nsigi Mazwai. And I think it is very important as an artist to maintain such a character, to maintain such a sound mind, that nothing is going to influence you or try to push you away from whatever it is that you want to achieve. And that's why I'm saying that both of their poetry styles have inspired the being that I am today, because we've got two different personalities, yet very powerful and impactful in ways you cannot even imagine. It's just that the other is not as publicized as the other, but if you are aware and in tune with the scene, you will definitely know that this being is doing so much. Yeah.
And then how has, we're gonna go to social media, how has social media influenced your craft and assisted your craft, you know, in you being Nomanda Sky?
I wonder where I would be.
And how did it even start? Like, what, take me to that day when you're like, I'm going to do a video in TikTok and I'm gonna post it, and whatever they say, like, what was going through that moment for you at that
Let
time?
me walk you through it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would be without social media.
Yeah.
I know that it's got its dark sides, its load shedding sides, where it's creepy to walk out in the dark. But more than anything, social media has done the most for me. Social media has literally given me a stage when I couldn't afford to climb a taxi to go to, say, the Market Theatre or wherever the hip and happening poets were performing. Social media, how it came about that I started posting on social media was through Just Kohli, who was
Okay.
a being that I believe was behind the scenes for a
Okay.
certain TV show that I
Okay.
had auditioned for. It was
Okay.
a rap competition.
Okay.
And so I didn't make it into the top whatever.
Okay.
But Just Kohli literally took that video, posted it on Instagram, also tagged me. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And that's when now I started, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So Just Kohli was using the hashtag unseen poets.
Okay.
And that's where I gained the traction. That's where I learned to, this is where I can do this. I don't necessarily have to now go. And I have to say, if I'm not mistaken, they'll correct me if I'm wrong. I doubt I am, though. I'm one of
Okay.
the first poets that literally started out on social media.
On
in terms of,
TikTok in
recording
South Africa.
myself.
Really?
And not necessarily TikTok. Social media.
Social media, really?
Outside of
Wait,
TikTok. Because
or
TikTok,
from-
I'm sure umntwana
Yeah,
match.
umafikizolo.
We're talking YouTube,
From Facebook.
Instagram,
Okay.
Facebook. Yes. And
Oh,
then
wow.
it literally grew, and these poems have touched more ground than I have, because that's the power of social media. These poems are able to go be in rooms that you haven't yet walked into. They're able to represent you to people that you haven't yet met physically, and that has been the power of social media. So it has been quite incredible.
Okay, I could listen to your voice the whole day. You know,
Exactly.
I usually hear people saying, "I'd listen to your voice, Zoe." I'm literally having that moment where people are saying that to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've got a beautiful voice, by the way.
Yeah, boy.
I just want to find out with poetry. You know, in music, there's genres of music. So in poetry, other poets will be known for talking about love, others about social justice, others about political crime. So, in terms of Unomsa Sky,
No more.
yo Unomsa, angazi why sengicabanga
Who is
uNomsa.
Nomsa now? What is going on?
I don't know where Nomsa came
Girl.
from. I'm so sorry.
Girl. I'ma walk out.
So, hey, I'm back in. So, Unomanda Sky, what would you want to be known for in terms of your genre of poetry? Do you want us to know for you talking about political or love or social justice? What would you be your claim to fame in terms of genre of poetry?
Genre of poetry, I would literally evaporate if ever
Okay.
I were to be
Box yourself.
boxed in. I want to be that being that you look at and you're like, I wonder what she's going to talk about today.
Okay.
I wonder what she's going to do
Unpredictable.
tomorrow. Unpredictable, that's
Okay.
the word.
Okay.
I definitely want to be unpredictable. That's what
Okay.
I want to be known for.
And what's your writing what's your writing journey? Does something pop in your mind and you write it, or is it you in a cab, or like what do you have some sort of a routine, of as to when you write your
It differs. It
Okay.
definitely differs. Like
How
I
so?
said, it is spiritual. It
Okay.
can literally just catch me. I'm in a taxi and I'm like, I have to write this down. I'm like, I'm not gonna pull out my phone. So
Okay.
I literally talk to it and I'm like, hey, please hold this poem for me until I get to a point where I can pen it down. And it literally
Okay.
does happen. The universe will come back to me and be like, hey, here's your poem. You said you're gonna write it down now. And then other moments, the title will just sit for weeks without me giving it a body. Then eventually, later on, I will definitely come back to it and continue with it. So it differs. It differs.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
what happens when you write those poems they like draining,
Yeah.
and even when you're writing, the tears are coming out,
Yeah.
the paper is wet, how do you, okay, you write, and then after you write, let's say you'll post it on socials, like how to take me through that, like how do you deal with that? Because like, let's say in acting, you'll get a character where you have to kill someone,
Yeah.
and not a killer,
Yeah.
or so how do you even zone out of that scene after you write? How important also is that, because you can be zoning into writing something and then carry those emotions probably throughout the day, not realizing that it's that thing that you're writing and you're talking about. So what are the remedies, what are the strategies that you go in and go out of that zone, because it's very spiritual for you?
How it usually happens with me is that I always call the great being, I don't want to say alter ego because that's some crazy stuff,
Okay.
but the great being of my creativity, Uskai, will literally come in and I can feel the heaviness and I can understand that it's now time for me to pen this. So I'll literally go into a trance where I am feeling the emotions. I am just literally listening to Sky speaking in my voice. Then I write it down. The minute I am done and I put the final full stop, it is also gone. Sky leaves with it. The moment I pen it down, I have put it down, and I'm okay. I don't even recall nor remember. The only time it is hectic is when I have to get on stage. The anxiety is crippling, but immediately when I am done, I'm like, okay, fine. We are done. Whoever this was for, I hope it has reached them. I hope it has healed them, and it has done what it was supposed to do. Then the minute I sit down, I come back to being Onomond.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happens when you perform and no one is responsive, or it's a negative response, or like what how do you deal with that?
Well,
you know, because it happens.
It does. That hardly ever happens
or
for me.
or that expectations of how you have wanted them to perceive your poem, you know, and it wasn't to your satisfactory in terms of, I know that when I deliver this, I want to make them, and then it totally
goes sideways.
Like it switches up.
Okay, well, that hardly ever happens to me, but I want to relay the story to you. It was like, 2 months ago.
Okay,
I go to this certain venue. I'm booked there. Okay, fine. I start performing. There's this lady that's chilling there, blank face. I'm like, there is no way this is happening. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's happy. I'm like, what's your law? Or she got paid to come sit here and stare at me like this. I'm like, girl, what the what's going on? You don't break character. Because one thing I've come to understand is that you are not for everyone every time. Yeah, I understand. When the time is right, the person that is meant to receive me with a certain poem will receive me. But for now, I am here for those that are ready to fill their cups. And I have to do that. Even if out of 5, there's only 1 that's responding, that means I'm here for you. The rest of the 4 may not feel it. As fine, we're gravitating with different wavelengths.
That's true. Speaking also still on stages, you've performed for Stoji T, Gigi Lamaine. How did that come about? And who was your career highlight of saying, you see, when I worked with this person, it opened a lot of doors for me and it enabled a lot of stuff for me? So how was that, performing for such great people, and how did that come about?
So with those, it actually came through social media.
Okay.
With Stogie T, this was around the time when Black Twitter was always violent and stuff like that. And then we collaborated on a track. And then with Gigi Lamaine, she had tweeted this one time that she would like to have a poet performing Who Can She Get? And then my stars, my fans, were like, definitely no more this guy. And she hit me up and she's like, yo, let's get on stage. But one collaboration that literally did the most for me until this day, I feel like I left my soul in that studio, was P.O's collaboration with him. That was just incredibly amazing. And the title of the song was Stage Fright. And yeah, just to name a few, that was just all social media. I don't want to lie to you. All social media. That's why I'm saying that social media has played quite a very big role in my life.
And how is important for artists that you can advise in terms of social media, how they can use it to gain clients, to gain their services, to be out there?
All I'm saying, or what I usually say or always say, is that you will find your tribe. Let it not be a thing of, okay, fine, I don't have these many followers, I don't have many likes. You just keep posting your stuff. Digital print is something that's always going to be there. The stuff is going to stay there. Whoever is yet to hear of you is still going to go back and be like, oh, wow, this person has been doing this. So you're not necessarily looking for the likes or the attention, but you're just putting your stuff out there. Your tribe will definitely gravitate towards you. Yeah.
Okay, my beautiful people, you're still tuned into the Platinum Breakfast Show with your girl Zoe Zungu, aka Baza with the Voice. And of course, namhlanje angihambi nabantu bami. I'm all by myself. Let's just take some music breather. We are still chilling with Nomonde Sky. We'll be back after this.
Lately, I just want to show up in bodies. Always been a little.
People, hope that everybody is well. Oh, it's last 10 minutes of the show. We're going to bounce out of here. But as usual, Sino, Vanessa Md.
Yes, the one in Orange.
How are you, my dear?
I'm fine. How are you, Zoe?
I'm good. How was your night?
When I was nothing but today I have nothing.
So there's no ndaba, nothing interesting happened So last night was just a peaceful night for Vanessa.
I won't tell you.
Nothing hectic. What do you have for us for brunch breeze today?
All right, my prayers, it's Wednesday, and normally, on Wednesday we have a woman empowerment. It's Women Empowerment Wednesday.
Okay.
So please stay with us, me and Dombi, from 10 until we hit the hour 1. So today we are going to talk about, obviously, firstly our Woman Crush Wednesday, which is suspected to have killed someone about 2014, 2019. So, about.
I think I know her. Does it start with a K? Does it start with a K? Yeah.
Okay, she's our Woman Crush Wednesday. So
Okay,
I
wow,
want 10 my platinum. So because I want you guys to tune into a brunch breeze to find out who's our Woman Crush today.
Okay.
She's an inspiration, obviously. And also from here we are going to continue with the topic and talk about the teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
Because she's also said to have a kid while she was still a teenager. So yeah.
So manje ke yazi Vanessa namhlanje Platinum Mornings we're talking about poetry and also the art of words, you know. So personally from you, how important is it? Like what's your view on the power of words, on how we use our words as umuntu nje?
I think words has the power to curse and also to bless, because as much as the words that you will say with your mouth, they can curse your life, whereas they can bless your life, because I think it's a blessing that you put upon your life, or it's a curse that you put upon your life also. So I believe they have the power to do that.
And what words do you usually say to yourself, Vanessa? Every day nje mawuvuke ekuseni, mawuzibheke esipilini, I know you say something. You know, I mean, I know you say something to yourself. What are those words that you say to yourself when you wake up in the morning?
Okay, I have when they are negative ones, but I feel
Why
like
are you negative to Vanessa?
For me, I'll always be like, I always say that even in the office, like I feel like I'm putting a curse on myself. So like you're like, my life is rosy. These days I'm adjusting to my life is rosy.
Good. Thank you so much. Please be sure to listen to Brunch Breeze at 10 to 1. You are still tuned into the Platinum Breakfast Show with your girl Baza with the voice. And namhlanje ngihamba ngedwa. My people are not here. They decided to disappear and go to space. But we are not there. We are still chilling with Nomonde Sky. Nomonde, my love. Why Nomonde Sky? Why sky? I know what sky means, but like why you fly? Why you pap? Why in the sky?
You know,
like
when God wants to elevate you, God will elevate you.
Okay.
It's not something you know. But sky is actually an acronym for Uspagapaga King Yamakam.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so does it mean that your poetry is faga sky?
Oh, it definitely does. I mean,
Okay.
you can definitely attest to that. What
I
are you
can.
asking?
I can. So I want to know, with some of the other poets, that you have, the videos that you've done on TikTok. What's your opinion on, you know, the ones that are very seductive, and then people have a certain perspective on opinion of you. You know, like there was one you were talking about, being a side chick. You know how nice it is. It's like you make things look nice and bad and enticing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. And not doable, but doable. How is the social media backlash? Because cyberbullying is real and it's out there, and mental health is so important, you know, because as much as you can be strong-willed, but sometimes whatever someone says to you, it can get to you. So how important is your mental state and your mental health with some of the stuff that you take out online, which you're not meant to, but somehow, or why you meet married men or blah blah. Like, how do you deal with that? And Yo, that's a lot.
Now, here's the crazy thing about that.
Yeah.
Remember earlier on, I had said that whenever you post your stuff, don't be afraid about the likes, the ears, the eyes, or whatever. Your
Okay.
tribe will find you. So now, with the people that are following me, they very much understand. Because as much
Okay.
as you can say, it's nice being a side chick, there's a poem behind this. She's an artist at the end of the day. The problem now comes when Uboza is going to download that video and share it on her page. Abantu bakaBoza ngisho bona bangazi. Then they come across this, who the hell is this girl? What does she think is good? Because that's where it starts being a problem. But more than anything, I tell myself that my tribe knows me. Those that know me, and they know very well I never wake up in the morning, record a video with ill intent. I have never and would never. So it's just a matter of people yet understanding. They are yet to know, gravitate towards who Nomanda Sky is. So I just forgive them from a perspective of their lack of understanding of me and what I'm trying to say. Because we don't get isn't
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, even
True.
in class there were different type of learners.
True.
You know, so it's okay. We have to be very understanding. But it's very important for me that I just log out, go touch grass, or go touch the soil, go chill apparently. That's the one thing that helps me. Yeah.
And lastly, where do you see yourself as a poet in the next coming 3 years, right? And then 2, what are some of the upcoming projects that you're going to be doing as Unamonde, you know? And lastly,
Damn,
a
girl.
question that JT always asks, I hope I'm going to say it correctly. What is the last time you did something new for the first time? Yes. Got
That's
it.
kinky. Okay, first question is, where do I see myself as a poet in the
Yeah.
next 3 years?
Yeah.
I see myself coming back here to tell you about the awards I've won. Coming
Okay.
back here to tell you about the tour I'm about to
Putting
embark
it out
on.
there, yes.
Coming back here to tell you, let's go have lunch. We're flying out to Dubai.
Darling,
See
yes.
myself with a couple of books on the shelves.
Okay, okay.
Then what was the second question?
The second question was, where do you see yourself? Like, where are your upcoming projects? What
My
are you going to be for?
upcoming
Yeah,
projects.
what are you working on, an EP or something? I don't know.
At the moment, I definitely am working on an EP.
Okay.
And also working
Rap or poetry?
Poetry.
Okay.
And
there's a
also
poet EP.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And also working on a book which is long overdue. It's been
Nice.
too long. It's taking
What's
too long.
the name of it?
I can't
No,
say it.
okay, not
I
yet.
can't say
Okay,
it. It's a
okay.
baby that is yet to be born, so we can't speak much about the baby.
Is it gonna have like poets, or is it gonna be a biography or an auto?
It's going to be poems, a collection of all my poems.
Okay. Okay. That's dope.
And what else? For gigs and anything else that I'll be doing, people can
Okay.
just stay glued to my social media.
Okay.
That's where I'll be posting, where I'll be. And then the last question was?
When was the last time you did something for the first time?
The last time I did something for the first time was a
Yeah.
couple of hours ago sitting in the studio.
On radio. We broke your radio virginity.
No, here,
What?
for
Here.
VMC,
Oh,
yeah.
so we broke your VMC radio virginity.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. You're gonna do something for us, Anisha. We left with like 4 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna close down the music so
please do
that
that.
we
I don't
can
have
listen.
silence.
Yeah, we can listen to your voice. So it was the girls of Isungu, aka Baza with the voice. Adios amigos.
May I destroy you, ruin you, scatter the pieces these women collecting in making you whole. May I remind you that I was created to shatter you in my soul. You can call me your home. Just as you settle in, I'll help you settle in. Break your jaws and have you sacrifice your melanin just to be covered in my dream. May I destroy you? Have you confessed how many others you left in a mess? Devil ready to stain her new dress. You're a weakling for weaklings. Why did you think I'd be embraced? But may I destroy you? For the boy in you, mommy issues that have you working around collecting tomes whose moans you know you're a blessing, a breaking prayer, falling apart at the God of pleasure's feet. By your shame as the face she'll greet, but may I destroy you? Until you say what's really eating you up so bad. You collect fine women to be left in a bed of rotten promises and lies and mistakes. Say, may I destroy you? Be bound by these chains until your safe word is I'm scared of being an honest man with another lover or one lover who love me until God remembers it's been long since I've been home, until you're not bothered by being alone, until you don't consider yourself a man. May I destroy you, only to create of you a much better version of yourself. May I destroy you, only to make of you the best version you've ever prayed yourself into being. May I destroy you, only to make you what your parents intended you to be, where they looked into your eyes innocently, calling you Isibusiso. May I destroy you, only to build you up again as the best king to rule my heart and soul.
Bye bye. It's a wrap.